Well, Louisville's community was, and still to a great degree now, it was kind of paternalistic. You know, the people who were, I hate to use labels, you know, but the people who saw themselves as liberal, sort of, and was open to certain kinds of things, everything was just fine as long as you stayed in a certain framework, as well as those who were quote unquote conservative and felt like you should stay in your place. But you didn't run into the degree of, at least from my perspective, of conflict that you found in a lot of other communities. In fact, you found the desegregation process uh, more open earlier, I think, in Louisville with less acrimony. Uh, the housing situations, even though they're still segregated significantly, but when it got into legal segregation, you saw Louisville on, if not on the forefront, but close to it, and breaking down some of those legal barriers. There are other barriers that persist, and I could go on and on with. So it was that kind of environment, you know, in Louisville. But Louisville had its drawbacks. It had segregation. It had segregated neighborhoods. It had segregated schools. It had to go through the 1954 Brown piece, and there was some recalcitrance on some areas. A lot of people think 1954 came, the Supreme Court ruled, and everything flipped, and everything was hunky-dory, so to speak. But the fact of the matter is that there was a process, and we're still living out that process now because of housing patterns and so forth and so on. But my point is that we had segregation. And when we were in junior high school, when I was in junior high school, my brother and sister were at Male High School. I was at Manly Junior High School. And when they'd have a racial conflict at Male, the next week we'd have a racial conflict at Manly. Because our thing was, if they did it at Male, we're going to stand up for our rights at Manly. So, because all those things existed then.